It's your boy Matt here. This is just a rant on living with ADHD, so attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Um, it's a whole lot of fun. Uh, what There are benefits and downsides to having a brain like this. One of the benefits is that because I have constant interruptions in attention, I get to solve problems in more creative and elaborate ways because I am dealing with similar phenomenon multiple times and seeing it from different angles. It's kind of like having an entire team working on the same problem at once, but the downside to that is that sometimes things are slower. The way to get around that is a prescription to a psychostimulant, but I can't afford that because that costs at least $1,000 to get a formal diagnosis from a psychiatrist to then provide that medication. And whilst I know it, can diagnose it in other people, and can, it have authority to give other people diagnoses, the insanity of our system is that I can't provide my own diagnosis, and I'm held in poverty by different forces. One of the things with this is that I am actually quite productive. I'd say abnormally productive compared to most people when I have things set up. That's just because I've gotten very good at learning how to focus and develop really effective systems. But with something like this, and because that issues with attention, it means that I need to be able to control most of the variables around me to be able to be effective. So, for example, I'll give two different examples. One time when I worked at a vocational rehabilitation firm, I was not very productive because I had a whole lot of noise around me, and I was also being, I'm sorry to say this, my boss didn't really know how to do qualitative research. So the reports I were writing, well, even if they were at a good enough quality, they were descriptive of phenomenon rather than providing a narrative. You contrast that with my performance when I was working at Care Squared Kids, where I was producing almost all my reports on time. If they weren't on time, it was because a whole lot of hectic shit was going on in the background. I was able to work from home, so I had my own. I was able to control all the things around me, which meant I was able to control distractibility. I also had a boss who was my psychology supervisor, who was Dr. Jasmine Slacksmith, understood qualitative research, and she thought my reports were the bee's fucking knees. I'm very good at writing. I'm very productive when I have things set up in my advantage. I'm currently in a situation where nothing is set up in my advantage. My screens are constantly monitored, so everything I write is broadcast to a massive audience. And I'm also dealing with sensitive client data when I'm writing these things. This is a horrific situation to be placed in. I work in a field where I deal with sensitive information, and even if I anonymize it, well, that information is going to be spread to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, when I just type up a fucking cover letter on my computer. These things are seen by a whole lot of people. And I have become spectacularly unproductive as a result of the abuses that I've received. The extent of how terrible this unnecessary and criminal monitoring of me has been, and the delay on my life it has caused, has been heinous. And I'm going to get justice to the people who did this to me. I'm incredibly bright. I'm very productive. There's always an incentive to make it look like I'm worse than I am, so people can elevate themselves. I've been very polite to my previous manager, Roxanne Mueller. What I was experienced with her was a degree of strange micromanagement. I don't think when I was writing reports that were given to her, first of all, I didn't really understand that my job was to really just make cases to kick people off payments. But I also was, the way I was writing was as if I was providing qualitative data. I was giving I was writing it as if the information I was presenting were qualitative reports. So it was descriptive information. It wasn't meant to be providing a narrative. When I switched gears, working for Care Squared Kids, I was providing, and these are the reports which went through Jasmine Slacksmith, and she will be able to attest to this, is that they were very well written. I was producing a lot of them. I was producing so many that she ended up having we ended up having this massive backlog, and there were delays in these reports getting to the hands of participants because I was writing so many of them. All right, and these were all at a very high standard. I am incredibly effective at my job, okay? The issue is that there are a lot of incentives to make it seem that I'm far worse than I am, and to play up my ADHD as something which makes it impossible for me to function or do work. It's something I'd very much like to get formal treatment for. I'd love to get Adderall or a psychostimulant, but I can't get access to it. I'm kept in poverty, and I'm kept in a set of circumstances where I can't really control the things which make me productive. That means not a lot happens, and at the same time I've got many, many forces bearing down on me which have kept me in this situation. Have a lovely day, everyone.